And
Girl, I can't put that on my channel.
oh, I'm sorry. The girls was delusional. Russell gives you the feeling?
All that came to my mind was Jamie Lee Curtis.
What's the Tater Tots? It's your girl Tati. Back at another video. In this video, we have our special guest again, Ronald. And we are here to talk about this book, which is Waiting to Exhale, guys. He picked this book. He picked this book because we heard so much. It's not just Man Cry in the Dark. Y'all know that's the infamous book. Man Cry in the Dark is supposed to be the male version of Wait to Exhale, but it's a bunch of books that are supposed to be the male version of Wait to Exhale. So he wanted us to read it and see, is it really giving? And we also watched the movie. So if you want to hear our thoughts, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first, we have an itinerary this time. Okay, y'all don't even know that, huh? So first we're gonna start with the book because we have a lot going on. So we starting with the book, which has a beautiful cover, by the way. I like this cover better than her newer covers, but this ate the girlies up.
Oh,
Okay,
that's another thing. So, because this is a movie and book video, we're gonna give a book rating and a movie rating, but I'll explain all of that later when we get to it. So right now we're working on a book rating.
this is gonna shock you guys. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I I low key give this a 5. She low key 8. She low key 8 with this book, and they're not gonna hold you guys. Like, I thought this was gonna be a rough one, and this was before Stella. I'm pretty sure this was before Stella, but yeah, I see the hype. She ate. She ate with this one. Even parts, I think that's what got her the 5 for me, because even parts where I was like, Lord Jesus, she about to be cliche. We about to do the same old, same old. She was like, no, ma'am. You thought you heard the story before. No, you didn't. And parts where it's like, oh yeah, I thought I knew this for the movie. She was like, oh, you thought because you watched the movie, you knew everything? Oh no. No, you didn't. Just to let you know. And it was still good. It was still good. Grammatic, the grammar was not that terrible. I ain't see too many typos. A lot of words, because Terry, but this time I feel like it was much more being descriptive. And it was still very much, Terry has this way of writing where, I'm not gonna get to the book too much, but this is the last thing I'm gonna say before I get through it. Terry has a way of writing how people talk, just like, we're not gonna talk about it, but she has a way of writing how people talk. And I think it was executed a lot better in this book than it was in How Stella Got Her Groove Back. I think it was executed really well.
So,
Ronald,
I gave this book I gave this book a 4. I gave it a 4 because I was like, you know, y'all know in the past videos we've been like, oh Lord, Terry and her writing, Terry and her writing. But once you get past her Charles Dickens style of writing, the story, it holds up. It's a good
mhm.
story. You're interested. And just for review, let's remind y'all what our ratings on Men Cry in the Dark were. My rating was a 2.
Oh, I'm gonna have to stand
Tati.
too. It's a 0. Yeah. Yeah, guys.
So just to be clear, I gave Men Cry in the Dark a 2, and I gave Waiting to Exhale a 4.
I gave Men Cry in the Dark a 0. I can understand it if you give it anything other than a 2, though. I'm judging you. But a 2, I understand. And then Waiting to Exhale is a 5, yeah.
So yeah. And we're gonna get more into how those two go together and why I call them brother and sister later on. But let's get into this book.
Before
So Waiting to Exhale, the book was written by Terry McMillan and it came out in 1990. And we started off with what I call woman number 1 because we did not learn her name. We did not learn her name until about 5 pages in.
Why did I write that down? Because I paid attention this time. Because I didn't pay attention to the other way. I paid attention this time. I said, But here's the thing. I was like, I don't know who this is, but it sounds like Savannah. And
Literally.
so here we go. I was like, I don't know who this is, but it sounded like Savannah. Boom. It
Now
was
that's one thing I will say about this book. A lot of people say that this book is very hard to figure out who's talking at times, but I feel like if you've seen the movie and you remember the storyline after like the first four chapters, it's and even if you haven't seen the movie, if you just follow each girl's storyline after them first four chapters, it's pretty easy to tell who's talking.
it's real.
For me, it was.
Yeah, the movie you go hear it kind of, but even how you say after the first four chapters, because the person is gonna be the person doing the talking. Like the main person's like thoughts, because you'll see them writing their thoughts. That's gonna be whoever is the main person talking. So if it's like Gloria said and you in Gloria head, all the extra that's not in quotations is Gloria. Like it's it's simple
Like
to
literally, just follow the storyline. But yeah, so we start off with woman number one, who we find out about 5 pages in is Savannah. And Savannah is the oldest of four kids, and she's single. She's 36 years old, and she's living in Denver, but she's getting ready to move down to Phoenix because she's tired of Denver. And so she takes her a pay cut, and she's going down to Phoenix to find a man. Let's be real. She's going down there to find a man.
she's bored. She needs a break. It's nothing in Denver.
But before she leaves Denver, her sister Sheila has set her up with this blind date for a New Year's Eve party with this guy named Lionel. Savannah has never seen him before. She don't know what he looks like, what he acts like. So she decides she's gonna go to this New Year's Eve party and see if Lionel is something that she might could see a future with.
And Lionel is described as fine, by the way. He is described as fine. So we waiting to see him. When she's there, it's kind of funny. It's like, oh, all the girls feel like she's trying to get their man or something. And the description is funny in this book because she got tiny boobs, but she has like a big butt. It's like it's a very interesting description. Seeing like what the girls were supposed to be. But she has
Hmm.
like I feel like, and I think everybody in the book feels like she has like a chip on her shoulder. Like she feels like, of course, there's a such thing as not settling, but it's giving I'm the baddest and nobody can touch me. Like I'm just the baddest of them all. And I think this is where I got introduced, or where you get introduced to like the men and the not unrealistic standard, but the unrealistic feeling, the hopeless romantic. I was reading this book and it reminded me of myself in the sense of look, I was like, but in the sense of I I love 90s music, right? I'm a black romance girl. I love reading black romance novels. I love the 90s into early 2000s black romance books. And it gives you a like when you're reading those books, when you're looking for that spark, that feel, that joy. I feel like that's what Savannah's chasing. And so she's not really, I think she's not even necessarily even looking at the standard of the man. She's just running after that feeling that honestly we not even sure if she's ever had.
Yeah, out of all of the women, Savannah was definitely the cynic. She was definitely the cynical one because she knew what she wanted. She was tired of going through bad relationship after bad relationship. So she knew what she wanted. And because she knew what she wanted, she wasn't willing to settle for less, unlike a certain other person in her life, which I'll get to in a minute. But so yeah, Savannah, she going to meet Lionel. He's 41. He's recently divorced and he sell fire trucks. I didn't even know selling fire trucks was a career, but okay. But
He
he
had
sell
them
fire trucks. They like trying to contact each other for like 3 weeks, but they keep missing each other's phone call. And so finally they get in contact to go to this New Year's Eve party. And Savannah Mama get on that phone. And Savannah Mama irritated me. Because Savannah Mama like, oh, you need to dress a certain way to catch a man and all this and that. And I'm like, Mama, you're irritating.
my note was that Bernie was a little out of there, but the writing is much more bearable. Because some of the stuff that Bernie said to her was out of there. And I feel like even though she might have been the cynic, I feel like people were really harsh with her. But I feel like the people in this book talk a little harsh because it's like y'all don't want her to be like you kind of can see why she's focused on getting a man because everybody around her is like, you need to get a man. Bernie, time's running out. You need to get a man. Okay, Miss Bernadine. Okay.
We're gonna get to you in a minute. So Savannah, she getting ready for this party, and she turned on the radio and she starts singing. And guess who was on that radio?
Take 3 seconds. Take 1, 2, 3. Come on now. Miss Whitney Houston.
I read that part. Miss Whitney Houston. I read that part. I was like, so Terry, did you have your people in mind when you was writing the book? Because how Savannah singing to Whitney Houston, and then about 5 years later, Whitney Houston in the movie as Savannah,
come on now,
as the best Savannah we have.
And let me tell you something. We said it before, we go say it again, that Whitney Houston, that Toni Braxton gonna be in every single book, okay? Every single book, every single time. I'm like, I feel like her description of Savannah didn't fit Whitney Houston, but the essence of Savannah, I can see why they picked Whitney Houston. Hands down, I see why they picked Whitney Houston.
I don't know. When I was watching the movie and I saw Whitney, I was like, yeah, she kind of fits Savannah description a little bit.
She honestly, she just don't have a big booty. That's the only thing she missing, to be honest. I don't know why she decided to give Savannah this badonkadonk.
But girl, I can't put that on my channel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can't be talking about that on my channel. You're gonna have all the Christian people coming for me.
I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna leave that on my channel. We're gonna leave that.
Yeah, so she gets to that party. The women, like Tati said, they being catty. The men aren't really paying her any attention because they have dates.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's a lie. They was paying her attention, but she was looking for Lionel.
Yes.
And all the men that was paying her attention, they were lame. So then she finally finds Lionel. Lionel is everything Sheila said he was. And she's like, you know what? Even if this don't work out, just let me have a night of fun, Lord, please. And then she had her little night of fun with Lionel. And then here comes Denise. And Denise was a girl she met in the bathroom. And Denise was like, oh, girl, you look pretty in that dress. And so, Denise was being really nice to her in the bathroom. And then as soon as Denise seen her with Lionel, all of a sudden Lionel, you ain't danced with me all night. Come on.
Because imagine you just say hey to some random girl. You think, oh, she cute. You come out, she with your man. You cute, but you ain't that cute. What is you doing with my man?
Like you might be Whitney Houston, but I'm Kenya Moore.
And why are you playing these games, Lionel? Like, why are you playing these games in the first place? That's rule number one. I know it's the 90s, but you literally invite them to the same party. I can see if you was like trying to two-time in the same town or something, but they're in the same place. They're gonna see each other, Lionel. Like,
and you know what? We should have caught on then that Lionel was not crap.
Oh, I knew. I thought she was done. Miss I Got Standards. I thought Miss I Got Standards, I didn't seen it, I didn't done it. I thought she was done. But it is a reason for why she wasn't done. So I said, okay. And that's also when I first noticed that they was gonna be some judgmental people. Because she was like, she was like, oh, the girl be so pretty. Denise would be so pretty if she didn't have like the hair weave and like all that blush on. She took off some layers of the blush. And I was like, okay. We is these type of girls. Okay.
And so then Denise comes, she's still Lionel away, and Savannah like, you know what? If I make it home in time, I can catch Dick Clark. I don't even know why I came out here wasting my time. And so then we get to Bernadine.
I absolutely love this part. I love this part. Now, I said Tony Child. Now, Terry does use a lot of words. We have already said this. But she she, she brought us into the world. She brought us into the world, child. Because you don't know, like, I don't even know. Maybe she didn't been through it before. Because I'm like, I don't even know how you found the words to describe what this lady was going through. But it was some. We're gonna get to Angela, but actor. Let me say that. Just ate it up. Not you hate this part. Okay, go ahead. Tell your.
No, it's not. It's not that I hate this part. You said Angela.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about
And
that.
all that came to my mind was Jamie Lee Curtis. So we get to Bernadine. Bernadine is getting ready to go out with her husband John, and John is like, Bernie, I don't want to go with you. I want to go with my side piece Kathleen instead. And the crazy part is, Bernadine does not even care really that he wants to go with another woman. She's just insulted that it's a white girl.
I think it's the combination of the girl is 20 something, 10 years younger than her, but also the idea that we've talked about of like that being better. Like you couldn't even get you like that being, and she's like, you're a bookkeeper. I was your bookkeeper. I started all of this, and you leaving me for this. I think that's what really burnt her the most. Bernadine gives me Torrance vibes. If y'all know who Torrance is, he's my favorite character from a little book, from this book called Creek.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yes, if you have not read Creek, you guys need to read it. But she reminds me in Torrance in the sense of whoever plays Torrance has such an has to be an actor, okay? Because they go through so much emotional changes. Whoever played Bernie had to be an actor because she came out the gates. Out of all the girls, Bernie came out the gate with the most emotion, the most feeling, the most. You cannot be playing around. It was the point where it was like I didn't even hear what he was saying. It sounded like he was like tuned out. I couldn't even move. I couldn't say a word. Like it was so much going on. And again, it's the embodiment of like, child. Cause what do you think when your husband is saying he gonna leave you for a white woman and he's saying it like, oh yeah, I'm about to go get some Burger King. A man who basically you iron his drawers. Like you didn't put aside everything for this man. And then I love how she put in that part of like Bernadette, if she knew about this, she knew about that, she knew about that, she would have knew about this if she was looking at her finances. But she trusted John. So she didn't know about none of it. So we already hating John because we know he did a world of stuff that she's not even aware of yet. She just her head still spinning, which speaks to the trifling man, because that man can't never. I'm trying not to mix the movie with the story because I know we're gonna get to the movie.
And so then we get to woman number 3, Robin.
Robin.
Robin, who apparently, if these descriptions in the book are what we're supposed to go off of, Terry wanted Robin Givens to play Robin.
And it's very interesting because Miss Ma'am still fits the part. Because her and Robin could be fraternal twins. They could be sisters.
Robin, she's overloved. She wants to be married. She's been dealing with this dude named Russell. Russell is trash. He is just trash. She wants Russell to marry her. Russell is playing games. She want to have a baby with Russell. Russell is playing games.
Everybody.
And then on top of that,
Russell is playing games. Everybody see it that he's stalling. But her.
And then on top of that, when Robin had all the clues in her face that this man was not serious about her, oh no, I'm just being paranoid. Oh no, that's not what's really going on. Oh no. Like, come on, Robin. Don't be a bird brain.
When the clues call her phone. When the clues call her
Call
phone.
her phone and tell her she being stupid for taking him back. Do you know how embarrassing that is to have the other woman calling you, telling you you are stupid for taking him back? trying to encourage you to drop him.
And the other woman is low-key the original woman. You know how trifling a man has to be for the woman that he's with to be like, girl, you could do so much better. Get away from him. And that's saying something for her to know about. Right. And y'all, she's going insane over this man. I'm saying co-signing cars. I'm talking about maxing out credit cards like she ain't got debt. I'm talking about backdating his insurance and getting him insurance.
Letting him stay with her when the other woman put him out.
And that's the only reason why he can't.
Robin she just.
But
that's the only reason why.
How you get him? What they say? How you get him? Is how you lose him.
How you get him is how you lose him.
Because you knew he was living with a woman. You thought that was just his friend? No, you didn't.
No, she knew. Because she said, oh, I didn't care that he was in a relationship.
And you expect this man to be faithful to you. You expect him to... And I don't even think she expected him to be faithful. She just really wanted to get married. And so I feel like they broke up.
I don't know what they had going on. All I know is Russell came back like, Rob, please take me back. And Robin, like a dummy, took him back. But he had Carolyn pregnant and he was denying it. It was just too much going on. And Robin was being a whole idiot.
But he left her. Or she left him. And that's when we come to Michael. Now I had to write down Michael. Because I said... I have a book like this. Light skin. Freckles.
Yes.
Redhead.
Now, what about that? Sound like Wendell Pierce.
We had to cut some corners, huh?
Let me tell y'all something. When I was reading this book, because I saw the movie first. So when I was reading this book, and I read how Michael was in the book, I was pissed. The movie did Michael so wrong.
Made him a little bit more... They were a little bit more theatrical than what the book really was. And Robin over here...
I'm not even talking about... I'm talking about his whole characterization, like how he just turned out in the movie. It pissed me off, because we're going to get to that. Go ahead.
But I'm like, Robin is missing her blessing. Talking about some of these Zodiac, missing her blessing. Like, girl, who cares what Michael is? Again, living in this fantasy world. I'm like, the 90s even had the girls in the 90s delusional. That's how much love was going around. How much this idea of love and R&B, and they probably also the 70s, 80s. You know, the music was all soulful love. And had the girls delusional. The girls was delusional because we was chasing the feeling. Russell gives you the feeling? That's called trauma. That's called trauma. That's called needing therapy. I can't help it that I like pretty boys. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And then this is the thing that another narrative we talk about. Why can handsome men not be good men? You telling me you can't find a handsome man that's not broke? Handsome man that has a job? Decent credit? And you're saying you're so superficial that if you see a man... Here's the thing with her and Michael as well. I feel like she didn't even give herself a chance to like Michael. And I feel like she didn't even give herself a chance to get something better than Michael. Even when she left Michael, she got a copy and paste Russell. Like, we just went backwards instead of going forward. You got this caliber of a man, and instead of saying, okay, this is the caliber of man, I'm gonna get a man that's this in fine, you said, I'm gonna go back. And then have the nerve to be jealous. Crazy, because you never was jealous about Russell when he was running around with 13 women. You stayed with him. I see why everybody I
Mhm.
you rock. We refer to other books, but yes, Robin is a what's that girl name? It's not Cheryl. Tyree, Leonard. What's the other one? I'm like Deborah. Why would Sydney?
What? Shelby.
Shelby. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, it's not Sydney. It's not
I'm
this.
like, what book?
Shelby. It's the
I'm like,
fact
what
that
book did you try to say?
it's the fact that I'm naming every. I'm like Tyrell. I'm over here Tyree, but I'm like Terrell. I could name her. I could name Deborah. I could name everybody but her. Shelby. That is Robin. You have to want better for yourself, Robin. At some point, you have to want better for yourself. And it's like Robin doesn't want better for herself. And the thing is, Robin is a smart girl. And you can even see through the book that she's lying to herself, that she knows what's going on. You can even tell in the book that like she's a very smart girl. She can get two and two together, but she's choosing not to because she wants this pretty man so bad. Okay, Robin. Okay.
Yeah, Robin was dumb when it came to love. But what I will say is we also get introduced to her secondary storyline, which is her parents and
Mm-hmm.
their struggles. And I think that's what really like had me more interested in what Robin had going on was what was going on with her parents.
It's what redeemed her. Because if
It
she
is.
didn't have that, she wouldn't be Shelby. We wouldn't be rooting for her. But because
And
we
honestly,
saw, huh?
and honestly, I feel like that whole Robin and her parents storyline, it really kind of helps explain why she's so desperate to get a man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not really the man that she wants, and it's really not even the baby that she wants. She just wants somebody who's gonna take care of her and make her feel like everything gonna be all right.
Especially the way that her dad made her feel. Even if you see the relationship her dad, her mom had, how she speaks about it, it's like her wanting that feeling again and her wanting that for herself. And I like that too because it's like having all the women are well rounded, and it gives them a part of like it's something I always mention about Issa Rae. How Issa Rae has this thing that she loves where in Insecure, none of her characters are innocent. Like none of the characters are innocent. And Waiting to Exhale, none of the characters are innocent either. Like all of them say some stuff. No, I would say Gloria is the most innocent, but all of them tend to say stuff that like shows you that they're not, because nobody's perfect. They have good parts and they got the parts that's kind of off. So you see that with Robin, she just child lost and won't love. Um,
Yeah. So Robin, her parents, what's going on with them? Her mom is like she's had two mastectomies. Her dad has Alzheimer's and it's really bad to the point like he doesn't even know who Robin and her mom are anymore. And so she's just very stressed out about that because she feels like she's not doing enough to help them because she really feels like she's not in a position to help them because she's not really in a position to help herself either. She barely hanging on herself. And
yeah,
so she goes on this date with
Marco.
Michael. She goes on this date with Michael. She tells him everything she wants, and Michael's like, I can give it to you. And then they sleep together, but it's not very enjoyable for Robin, and she's not attracted to Michael. But she's considering keeping him around because she's like, well, I can teach him how to be a better partner in that aspect, but he's doing okay in everything else. So, yeah. And then we get to Gloria.
Gloria. I
Gloria, Gloria is a single mom and she has issues with her weight and she runs a hair salon.
So yeah, she has her son in her life, which is her main focus. She's a business owner, so like owning her business is a lot. She has no parents. She's from Oakland. She moved from Oakland because both of her parents died. Her mom died, and her dad, low key, sound like he died from heartbreak, but he drove down to Alabama and died behind the wheel because he fell asleep behind the wheel. So she's out there with just Bernie and everybody else. That's her family, her salon. And she has a few people at the salon that she likes. It's this girl Sydney who does the nails. It's another girl. There'd be something like that.
Desiree,
Desiree,
Desiree, who
who does other work,
she
but
she
has a
does a
bad.
really good weave, but yeah, a really good weave, but a bad attitude.
and then she has two gay dudes that are in there, and they it's really everybody pretty cool, even though this is the 90s, even though the whole AIDS epidemic is going on. Nobody is being too crazy. You know, they have some crazy customers. Of course, Bernadine is a regular. That's how she got to know Bernadine is a child. She ain't one of those who do your hair. Cause I do hair.
In
Just
church.
come to my salon.
In church.
In church.
Sitting next to Bernadine in church, like supposed to be listening to the sermon.
Baby, this
Who do
baby.
your hair? It's dry. It looked like straw. Like
So she didn't took Bernadine from here 2 inches. Okay.
and, and let's not forget that the only reason Bernadine have inches is because John do not want her to have a short haircut.
Yep.
Bernie prefers short haircuts.
Yep. But John said he was gonna leave her. What kind of threat is that? Um, so yeah, of course, Gloria's the great hairstylist, but she's insecure about her weight. Her weight is her big thing, and it's like she started getting even more and more bigger. And like Tyreek, even Tyreek
Her
would be,
son,
and let me tell you something, Tyreek's ain't no good. Ain't no good. Ain't no good. Her son's like, mommy, you see, she's slim too. You should try that drink.
keep in mind, Tariq is like 16. At this point, you know how to talk to people, and you know that you should not be talking about people weight like that.
And Gloria has tried and tried and tried to get on a diet, and she's like, it just makes me more because diets don't actually work. It just makes me more upset, which is true. It's like the diet culture is not even a real thing. It's a lifestyle change that you make, not trying to cut everything out, and that's what messes people up. And that's what was happening basically, and everybody's making her feel bad about gaining weight to the point that men don't even like her. But there's something when we talk about it later on that I love that speaks to how things are geographically, how where you live plays a big part in other aspects of your life. Because mind you, they're in Phoenix. What kind of people are in Phoenix? So what kind of body shapes are going to be praised in Phoenix, if you get where I'm going with that? Gloria is also a part of this women's society. It's like a Black women's society.
Yeah, Black women on the move.
On the move, and they do different functions. So they have like this ladies night out, they have a scholarship for the kids, they have luncheons. It's all these things that they do in order to help the Black community. They do food raisers, they do fundraisers, giving out food, talking to mothers about breastfeeding. They also do like talking to the kids about drugs, just different things like that. So Gloria really pushes this, and this is something that all the girls are in up until this point, except Robin. So with
No,
Gloria,
except Savannah,
Savannah, sorry, except
because
Savannah.
Savannah ain't got there yet. So yeah, Tariq is Gloria's son. He slick at the mouth. He's struggling in school to the point that Gloria think the boy's on drugs because she like, why's your grades like this? It's got to be drugs. It got to be crack.
Come to find out,
Come to find, it's not crack. It's something else. But she doesn't know how to deal with him, and she's been raising him on her own because his father is part time. He shows up for like an hour or two and he disappears, and Tariq is tired of it because he's like, that man is not my father. He doesn't even spend no time with me. And the reason it's like that is because Gloria got pregnant with him when she was in college. And she basically was like, I'm not gonna force you to be a father. I just ask that you come and visit him every now and then so that he knows who his father is. And her ex-boyfriend David agreed to that. And so David comes around and sees Tariq like every once in a blue moon. And it got to the point that Tariq was asking, when is he going to finally get a full time dad? And Gloria's like, well, God got to give me a man first. And so Tariq started praying for Gloria to get a man.
and then he gave up when God didn't
It's
give him a man,
so,
give her a man. He said, I'm done. Because you told me you told me if I pray hard enough, this is why we got to watch what we tell kids. Because you told me if I pray hard enough and I try my best, God will give it to me. That's
see,
not how
it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff that was left out of that explanation. But you know what? I don't,
It's
there's a lot of
okay.
stuff left out of explanation. But, I'm not surprised because Gloria gives me Sunday only Christian. And so After that, we get to Bernadine. We find out that Bernadine got home because Philip, one of Gloria's hairstylists, he caught her coming out the gas station. He was like, Bernadine, why is you out here with these rollers in your head?
Never seen her look so
So he was like, I ain't never seen her look like that in public. So he carried her home. He got her to bed. He took care of her kids. He made sure she was straight. And then after she was straight, he went home. And so Bernie, she's like, I just need some time away. So she takes her kids to her mama's house. Them kids hate going to their grandmother's house. I have never met a child that hates going to their grandmother's house.
because they spoiled. Because they spoiled. That's why they hate going to their grandma's house. Yeah, she is a little bit mean, but because they're spoiled.
And so she take them kids up there. She lies and tell her mom, I'm going to Sedona, but really she going back home to have the house to herself. She gets to that house, she start looking around the house, and she loses it. She decides to take all of John's stuff, put it in the front yard, and burn it up.
That's how we got the scene. Eventually, when the kids come back, she like, oh, I got an idea. Yard
Mm-hmm.
sale. Sells
Sold
everything.
all of John's stuff for $1, including his car that she did not burn up. His prized possession, $1.
And so she's also getting a lawyer as well to work on what's going on with her and John because baby, it's a lot of hoopla. So the lawyer's like, hey, it's some stuff not adding up, baby girl. So go down there to that bank and start pulling that money out. Because we don't know what he's about. Turn out he didn't already drained the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Already took the money out the bank. So she ain't got no money really. So this is where she goes up to the place and she's like walking there. Where's my husband? My husband here? Okay, cool. What's her name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen. She's like, can I have some time with my husband? It just came out. She just slapped him like, can I have some time with my husband, please? They go at it. He's like, well, you played dirty first. You got rid of my stuff. So if that's how you want to play it, let's play it. Even though no, you were gonna move this way regardless. You're using it as an excuse. So she like, you know what? That's fine, baby boy. Do what you do. Cause guess what? It's gonna come back around. We're gonna get all of it. That man offers her a little piece of change, which is nothing compared to what she's really owed. So she leaves out, and that's when around the time where she snips. Because she's tired of it. She's tired of having the hair, and she looks good doing it. Philip cuts her hair for her. She does it, she calls it on purpose because she didn't want to see Gloria. So she's been dodging the girls on purpose too because she doesn't want to see them. When we get to around this part, around the second or third time we're meeting each girl, I'm like, Terry said this book gonna be exactly what I want it to be. Not just this book, the movie is going to be exactly what I want it to be.
We're
Okay.
gonna get to the movie in a minute. We're gonna get to the movie in a minute.
But in this point in the book, when you're getting towards the middle of the book, you realize like she wrote that screen. She wrote it, and she knew what
she did.
She knew what she was doing, and this is one of the few times we've been able to see the translation that we've seen because this is rare. I'm not gonna lie to you. What Terry has been able to do is rare. It is a 90s author. It's a Black author's or author period. It's their dream to be able to do what Terry did.
So then Savannah is having trouble moving because her girl that was supposed to help her flaked because her boyfriend was like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to be going down to Phoenix with Savannah. So, and then she can't get rid of her condo. So she gets a call from Lionel. Lionel invites her out to dinner. And while they out to dinner, Lionel offers to help her to move. And Savannah's like, well, what's the worst that can happen? He's cute and you know what? He can help. So she agrees to let Lionel help her move down to Phoenix. And keep in mind, she's driving down to Phoenix.
I'm like, at this point, I'm like, did we switch Lionel? Like, I like the Lionel in the story, but this is giving Troy. This
No,
is
this is Lionel.
I
This is
know
Lionel.
this is Lionel, but in the in this part of the story, I'm like, did we switch Lionel in the movie? Because these is giving me Troy vibes. The man is lying. So she's like, she goes to the house. I thought you had a Jeep. I sold the Jeep a while back. What about the business? Oh, I'm not doing that no more. I'm doing something else. Okay, so what you trying to get into? Selling pork. You're a vegetarian. Oh, I don't gotta be out. It was a whole lot. So she's realizing this man is a fraud, but she's like, you know what? We're gonna drive. Get in her car and drive. They take a little break. Cause she's tired. She take a little break. She get them separate hotel rooms, but he probably about it, so they get a hotel room. So she's like, you know what? Forget it. Let's get the hotel room together. And baby, that man out of control. Okay. An
Yeah, they
animal. She is literal pain. So she's
girl.
like, I'm getting this man back home the first chance I get. Okay. I'm dropping him off at a motel. So when they get in the car to leave, she's like, yeah, baby, you're going to a motel. Him, a motel. Yeah, we getting you up out of here. She goes, this is how serious y'all know she is. She gets to Phoenix and goes straight to a travel agent. She goes straight. They don't go stop at Bernadine's. They don't go stop for food. They don't go sightseeing. No, she said, we are going to this travel agency. How much is it? It's $200 something. This grown 41-year-old businessman tells her, how about this? You give me the $200. I'll stay in a cheap hotel, stay out here to meet my pork dealer, and catch a bus back to Denver. How about that? Savannah's like, you cannot be serious right now. But he was dead serious. So she said, you know what? Go ahead. He's still trying to, we can see each other. So okay. Yeah, maybe. Knowing she is not ever going to see that man again. She is tired of that man. So she gets to come to town, and we going through a little bit of each person's storyline. So we might be skipping a little bit of somebody else's part.
Let me
But
say this. The whole car ride was just terrible. So Savannah was like, you know what? As soon as we get to Phoenix, you are gone. So she gave that man a fake number. She gave that man $200. She dipped, and we never heard from Lionel again.
now,
We don't know. We don't know if he was successful in the pork business.
and we don't want to find out because he out of control. Now, Bernadine tells her what's going on. So she's like, Bernie, why you didn't tell me? Bernadine's like, girl, I needed time to myself. It's been 11 years. I just need some time. So then
And
Bernie.
come to find out, before Savannah even got there, Bernie's daughter, Onika, okay, Onika is like, Mom, Dad is dating this new lady, Kathleen. Bernie's like, how
Oh,
you know Kathleen? Oh, I saw them kiss.
so when she was like, oh, me and daddy not gonna be together no more. She's explaining to them the divorce. And she's like, oh, I know who the new woman is. And they're like, who? And she's like, it's Kathleen. And then Junior is like, how you know that? She's like, because I saw them kiss on the mouth. And Bernie whipping that car, trying not to cry. Get out of my car. Get out of my car. Because Onika Onika, you're a rapper.
Look,
like a rat.
the baby was 6, okay? She was like 6.
Child. And that's how you know John was doing too much. Because how did the baby see that? So, but yeah, Savannah ends up meeting the girls because they go out to the luncheon, not the luncheon, the little dinner night or whatever. That's where she meets Robin. She finds out Robin talks a lot. And she meets all the other girls. She's peeping the Phoenix scene, but it ain't really giving. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna give Phoenix a year. Because if it's anything like Denver, I'm getting up out of here. If the man's is not calling my line, I'm getting out. So that's what happened. And when they're at the luncheon, her and Robin are not they're not really seeing, not the luncheon, but the little dinner thing. They're not really seeing men that they like. Well, Robin up until this point, because she got her little fiasco going on. But Robin meets Savannah, and she gets to see inside of Savannah's house. So we get that perspective of being able to see how Savannah has style. And that's where we also find out that Robin has no style. And even she knows that she doesn't really have any style. She's getting better, but she doesn't really have any tact to her. One part I found particularly funny because I do press on nails, is where she said she's doing her own press on nails, and Bernadette was like, "Girl, you look a mess." So that's why she started getting her nails done. And I found it so funny because if y'all don't know, I do like my own press on nails. And this weekend, like last week, I had got my nails. I got my nails professionally done. So I'm like, okay, shots are being fired right now.
So they go to this resort for this mixer that's being put together by this group called the Stock Exchange Group. And it's just these black men, they done put together this group, and they trying to network and stuff. And you know what? I felt Savannah in that scene when she was like, why every time we come together do it got to be a networking opportunity? Why can't we just come together and have fun?
I want it to be a gala because it's a gala. Or even if it is, like, can we do a little fundraising or something? Like, can we do something other than just networking? Like, especially because y'all know y'all not in here to really network. Y'all know y'all are not coming in ball gowns. And we're not in ball gowns. We try to not get dressed up with your future and your orange lipstick to go in there and hand out business cards. Nobody did that. I mean, nobody did that.
And so they no, and they get in there, and Robin starts telling Savannah about her life. And Savannah, the whole time she listened, she like, this girl is really dumb. Like she really made it to this. She made it 32 years of life being this dumb.
It was very
Robin.
much giving, if Bernie wasn't my friend, this would be a whole different conversation. It was very much giving, if I never had a conversation with you outside of this, and I did not know that you actually had a brain, I would not speak to you again. Because Robin is the epitome of love makes you do stupid things. Like, she's the epitome of like, and then this is the thing. What is there to love about Russell? That's what I never got throughout the whole book. I never got it. I never understood it.
So of course they had that girls' night out, happy hour. Bernadine and Gloria get there, and Bernadine she meets Herbert. Well, no, she introduces Herbert, a married sports agent,
She started.
and she go over there and she start dancing, getting her groove on.
She said, "Why y'all on the dance? Why is y'all sitting there? Y'all behind? Get on the dance low."
And they all like, oh, nobody's asked us to dance. I'm like, go dance with each other.
Okay, Miss, it's the 90s. No,
Go have a good time.
Because every 2 seconds, the times are different. Times are different. It's the 90s. It's the 90s. But you can't get on the dance floor.
You know what? Let me say this. These four did not want to have fun. They didn't. Every time they went out, they talking about oh, it's boring, it's nothing to do. Cause y'all just sitting around. Y'all are literally just sitting around.
Those three ain't want to have fun. Because Bernie said, I'm gonna get on that dance floor. She said, y'all can sit up, and she knew she was out of line. Y'all see Michael? Michael over there. You said hey to him around me like he go dance with him, girl. Bernie was in here.
Yeah, Robin over there giving the evil eye because Michael done popped up with another woman after Robin just told him, oh, hey, Michael, you're not really pleasing me the way I want to be pleased, and you're not a bad guy. I just need some time to figure things out apart from you. So she told the man, we just need some space. You're not
Yeah.
off the roster yet. I just need some space. And Michael's like, okay, well, when you figure your life out, give me a call. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go find me another woman and go out and have me a good old funky time.
And that's the thing about Savannah that I love hate is I know we was just talking about Robin, but it's like if anybody should have been with the new wave, like feminist, like Robin gives Robin gives the energy of like, I'm shooting my shot at men. But also, she does give classy vibes. But also, I feel like why she didn't do it too, which I just thought about, is because in the book she keeps bringing up this men are always intimidated. Because I'm like, Robin, you always said this nice, it's 90s. Walk up to one of these dudes. But I think she probably, at least for her, it was probably like, I don't want to intimidate nobody. Cause yeah, I walk up on Whitney Houston, I'm gonna be real intimidated. And I don't care what the little description give. So Whitney Houston is Savannah in my head. Okay, gives the whole essence.
No, I
Like
was reading this.
gives the
I was reading
whole
this
essence.
book. I was reading this book. I'm like, I can't even picture Terry's descriptions. I'm just using the movie cast. Forget what she wrote. We just gonna use the cast. And this is the only book I did that with.
It's for me, especially after the it was, and then this how you know we out of control probably because once the description stopped matching what I wanted the characters like what the movie characters look like, I stopped paying attention to them. I don't care what color nobody. I don't care. I don't care. Once they stopped matching up, I said, oh, okay, next.
And so of course all the girls they not feeling it, so they all leave except Bernie. Bernie stayed and got her groove on, and she had her a good time.
As she should.
And so of course Robin, she gets home, she get home, she's like, you know what, I'm lonely. So she calls Michael. Michael don't pick up. She calls Russell. Russell's with another woman that used to harass her. So Robin is feeling lonely. Savannah, I don't know what Savannah got going on, and Gloria is feeling lonely too. And Bernadine is like, I'm gonna sleep with her. I'm like, Lord, Bernadine, don't do it.
She said, I don't care what none of y'all talking about. Everybody, including us, including the audience, girl, come do not and I did anyways. I do not care. I it's the
She
fact
said,
that she got mad. It's the fact that she got mad at him. She said, why are you doing all of that? You is married. Him trying to make this more than what it is. So she said, you married. Bernadine, what would you you confusing us all
you're
right
sleeping
now.
with a married
You
man.
confusing us all. Because why in this moment are you reminding him that you married? This is what I really like, you're married. That don't matter to him. Obviously, Bernadine, he don't care about being married. He does not care. I don't know
Bernadine,
why you keep reminding this man of his wife.
because that girl ain't have her priorities straight.
He said,
She talking
I'm
about
not
something he
gonna.
married and I don't care, but you cared when Kathleen came in and took John, but you don't care that. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why she had killed. She said, oh yeah, the pain I felt, somebody else gonna feel this pain. That's basically what it was. He said somebody else gonna feel
The
this.
best way to get over one is to get up under a new one. That was her philosophy. But the one she chose to marry.
He said, I'm gonna get out on the dance floor. Y'all play these silly games if y'all want to. I mean, out of all the girls, I will say Bernie chose up. She always shows up out of all the girls.
But unfortunately, every time she chose up, they was married.
But the other, oh wait, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yep, I just thought about it. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, they are.
So so yeah, so Gloria is over here, she lonely, and she's going through it with Tariq. Because Tariq done been expelled from school for gang-like behavior.
And they're gonna
And
describe
the
a
gang-like
gang.
behavior,
And they're
the
gonna
gang-like behavior was him and his friends who were black and Latino wearing matching shirts and having matching handkerchiefs.
He said we just all hang together. Child. And
And this
nothing.
boy really said, we just sit together at lunch. That's it. We just sit together at lunch. Talking about something, it's some freedom of expression.
And the fact, Gloria, and then that's another thing about, you know how Black woman is. Anyway, is she, so why you ain't tell me this before? Because now you popping up talking about you getting brought. You had him. Yeah, this been going on for like a semester. A semester? And you just not telling me. You tell me this man been messing with you for a semester. You just not telling me. Crazy. The thing about Gloria that I wanted to mention too is everybody is like, get a man, get a man, get a man, be confident, get a man, you need a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
While all of y'all are simultaneously putting her down. In the telling her to get a man, you're actively putting her down. While you're telling her she's beautiful, you're beautiful, just lose like 20 pounds. Like y'all are sitting there like, even though you big as a whale, you could still get a man. Like you ain't gotta be alone. I want to. Everybody is like, I'm rooting for you to get a man. I'm rooting for you to get a man. I'm rooting for you to get a man. But you don't need no more snack cakes. What makes you think? What makes you think that that's gonna make me feel like a man wants me? That's one. Are we still comparing? Because I'm about to start comparing. I'm about to start comparing the movies to the book. I'm like, that's one thing I'm grateful that the movie kept out. I'm grateful they kept all of that to themselves and they let it be Gloria's own self, how she saw herself, and not the people around her also like demeaning her.
And so Tariq ended up being right because Gloria called up there and the principal was being racist, so she had to curse the principal out.
Mm-hmm.
But she still grounded him for not telling her.
Cause this been
And I'm
going
like,
on so long.
that's just like a black mama. That's just like a black mama. It's like you may have been right, but you still in trouble.
Because you waited this long to tell me about this man. And now I gotta do the food that I should have did 2 weeks ago,
Even
a month ago.
even when you're not the one in the wrong, you still in
You
trouble.
because they gonna find a reason. You got suspended. I don't care what listen, that's one thing I feel like Black parents, and we might be losing, is they don't really care why you got in trouble. It's the fact that you got in trouble. You better have a good excuse for getting in trouble at school. They don't care why you got suspended. You got suspended. Like,
And so Gloria, she cannot deal with Tariq, so she gets on the phone with Bernie. Bernie is going through it because John is not doing what he's supposed to do. And so Gloria decides to go over there to see Bernie, and she tells Tariq, when I call this house,
mm-hmm.
you better pick up this phone.
Mm-hmm.
She said, when I call this house, you better pick up this phone, because if you don't pick up this phone, we're going to have issues. So Gloria goes over there to see Bernie. They get to talking. John Jr., he is not taking a divorce well. Onika, she acting like she ain't got no sense because she's super excited about Kathleen for some reason. And Bernie is, of course, she even went through with her plan to sleep with her. And so they talk, and then Gloria, she calls the house. And Tariq don't answer the phone. So Gloria's like, this boy is about to lose his life. He about to go meet Jesus early. She
I
goes
want
back home.
I'm sorry. I want y'all to think about the times. This was written in the 90s, the early. I want you to think about the times and think about how much of his life he risked. Because when your mama said pick up that phone, you picked up that phone.
Even now, when your mama says pick up the
Pick up the
phone,
phone. You pick up that phone. I'm about to call you in 30 minutes, and you better be what I said you were supposed to be.
so he didn't pick up that phone. So Glory go home. She's like, he's not here. So she go upstairs. She hear noises coming from Tariq's room. She opens the door, and it is a girl in Tariq's room.
Child, child.
Gloria was so in shock. She was so in shock at what she was looking at. She didn't know what was going on. And then after she lost her mind, here comes Tariq. Mom, sorry. And then to make matters worse, when Gloria asked him, why did you not pick up the phone? Why do you have this girl in my house? Tariq gonna be like, well, you told me not to leave, so I didn't leave. I brought her here. Sir, you are already knocking on death's door, and your mom is about to push you through it.
This is why I love black people, like black books, but black characters written by black people, because you literally hear your mama voice. You sorry about this. You sorry about everything. Sorry, sorry,
Sorry, sorry, sorry, just like your father.
And you just you. It's like yeah.
And
That's
so
how like
Gloria, she going off about him being sorry about everything, and she accidentally reveals that Tariq's father is no longer interested in women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so Tariq is like, well, at least it don't run in the family. That's essentially what
He
he said. At
wanted
least it
to
don't run in the family.
die. He was a menace. Between this is Onika was a menace, but she was a menace unintentionally. She was just a kid who was happy. That boy right there, that boy was a true menace. That boy was a true menace who loved a daredevil, loved risking his life. That's who he loved, risking his life, because he always had something smart to say.
So then Savannah and Robin, they meet up and they rant about men and work. Savannah, she's just looking forward to the media conference that's coming up. And so then Robin's like, ooh, girl, I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat. And Savannah's like, I'm not hungry. Go by yourself. And Robin's like, I'm not going by myself. And Savannah's like, why? And Robin's like, because everybody gonna be looking at me crazy for eating out by myself. They gonna think I don't have a man.
Where did you build this self-confidence? Because we met your parents. We've met your parents, and they're not giving the vibes. So how did the vibes get to you? How did they get to you, Robin? Because just like the rest of us, because I don't like eating alone either. So at first it was like, oh, okay, why you can't eat alone? None of us like eating alone. Like not none of us, but some people don't like eating alone. It's like, okay, cool. But when you get the reason, not Robin, Savannah, girl, this is the 90s. Girl, it don't matter if it's the 90s or whenever it is. It don't matter what time of day it is. That's some craziness. I can't go outside by myself because people gonna think I don't have a man. You don't. And you don't though. You don't have, like, they're gonna think correctly because you don't have a man. You don't. Even when you thought you had a man, you had a child. You had a user. You didn't have a man. So this is why, and that's what Savannah get. That's what Savannah get. Because why you keep wanting to talk men with this girl and you already know how she is.
Because what do Robin got else to talk about?
That's
She's not
the
going to talk about her
thing.
parents. She's not going to talk about her parents because that's too sad. And she's not going to talk about her job because she don't really like her job like that.
Robin is like, she's like the girl that never grew up. She's like the little girl who like dreams of being a princess and rescued and just has never grown out of being a princess and being rescued. Like, but yo, knight in shining armor. Your knight in shining armor. Russell can't afford no armor. How he go? What he gonna do? He can't afford the horse to come get you. How? If we're gonna be a princess, you gotta look for a king. You gotta look for a knight. Something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Savannah, she just can't with Robin. So she goes home and she gets a call from Kenneth. Kenneth is her ex-boyfriend who is now married with a child. He says he's coming out to Phoenix and he wants to see her. Savannah is like, how did you get my number? Because the only people who know I'm out here is my mama and my sister.
So which one?
And so Savannah, she's still hung up on Kenneth because things ended between them because she did not think he loved her. They broke up for a stupid reason.
Childish.
And she was too scared to define their relationship.
And he was too.
Instead of just talking, instead of just talking to each other and having communication, they just let their relationship end because they was too scared to define what they were. But yeah, so Savannah's like, only two people know I'm out here. So she called her mama. Savannah's mama was probably the second most irksome character in this book. You know what? No, I'm gonna make her the fourth most irksome person in this book. The fourth most irksome. The only people who were more irksome to me were Robin, Russell, and John. Because Savannah's mama was so desperate for Savannah to have a man that she was willing to throw her daughter at this man who was married. Talking about oh, well, he's not happy in the relationship, so why not give it a chance?
Savannah Mama and Robin would have got along real well. They would have got along real well.
Are you so desperate that you are willing to throw your daughter at a married man?
Yes.
Why are you so desperate for your daughter to have a man? Because it's not for grandchildren, because you already got like about 4 or 5 of them through Sheila.
Come on now, getting a new one.
What is the reason, Savannah's mama? So Savannah, mama, she being irksome. She's like, give Kenneth a chance. He's not happy in his marriage. And we get an update on Savannah's siblings. Her sister is pregnant again. Her brother is out of jail. Her other brother is in the army, so he might be going to war. It's just a lot going on. And Savannah's like basically holding the family up on her shoulders.
Even though they barely want to talk to her. Well, no, only they all barely talk to her. I was saying, I thought
Yeah, they barely talk to her. She'd be like, nobody tells me nothing. So then Bernie and Gloria, they go to the mall.
I stop shaking.
Bernie, of course, is not doing so happily because John has been keeping a bunch of financial stuff from her. And so, yeah, they go to the mall because Gloria's like, we need a shopping trip. So let's go to the mall. And they see Robin walking around looking like a bootleg Robin Givens. And Bernie's like, Gloria, let's go because I'm not trying to talk to Robin today because we're going to be here all day if she sees us. And Robin sees them. And she runs over. She's like, hey, y'all, let me tell you about this new man I met. Enter Troy, who is a teacher at South Mountain Community College.
Mm-hmm.
Robin has decided to give Troy a chance because Michael is still calling because Robin told him, oh, let me give us some space so I can figure out what I want to do. So Michael's calling to figure out if Robin's figured her life out yet. And she's avoiding him because she's still mad about him being with another woman out in public. And she just does not want him. And so instead of telling him, Michael, I don't want you, she's just dodging him. Childish. And so, so Bernadine, she goes back to work and her job is being sued. So she got to get all the company's finances together in a matter of a week. And she's just going through it because the children are doing the most. Herbert is doing the utmost. John got her out here looking crazy. Like Bernie just got about 11 things going on. And then to make matters worse, Onika gets sick.
Child.
Onika gets sick, and so Bernie's like, you know what? I'm going to drop Herbert and focus on my kids because my kids come first. And so Bernie thinking Onika is dying. So she take the girl to the emergency room, and the girl has an ear infection.
But it was a close call. It was a close
Mm-hmm.
call, but it was just ear infection. But I also want to point out that the kids was an excuse. She was tired of Herbert, and she did not want to deal with that man. And Merlin, you ain't got a lot of us, and you ain't got a lot of yourself. That man was doing the
So
most,
she
and you
dropped
wanted to
him.
be done.
So she
You
dropped him and she got to focus on her kids. And then she goes to a doctor's appointment and she tells the doctor everything that's going on. And the doctor's like, it sounds like you're depressed. Take these antidepressants. Bernie took them antidepressants. That girl starts seeing stuff. She like, what is going on?
this scene could have possibly sent us back 2 decades, or it's pushed us forward 2 decades, because it sent us back. Because you know how they are about Black people, how sometimes we are about mental health and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and how we don't want to take medicine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it could have possibly sent us back from how it was, because it's like, girl, but it also could have pushed us forward, because when it comes to prescriptions and stuff like that, I feel like doctors, we know that there's a medical bias too. So although it could be like you doing the most, you setting us back with this experience, it also could be a real life experience, because doctors don't be, they don't, one, stuff like that can happen regardless if you take medicine, but also I feel like with Black people, they just medicate us a different type of way.
Because medical racism is real. And for some reason, the medical field believes that Black people, especially Black women, handle pain better than people who are not Black.
Mm-hmm. You get it double, because they think women handle pain better, and then they think that women handle pain better, and they think that Black people can handle pain better. So when it comes to Black women, they be like, "Oh yeah, y'all got
So
it."
Bernadine, she take them pills for about 4 days. And she go back to the doctor. She like, what is this mess that you have given me? Because no, I'm seeing stuff. No. What is this? And the doctor like, oh, maybe you just need to cut the pill in half.
First things first, because we just tried it out. Wouldn't you think to have told me to take a half a pill first, so I could see how it was, and then start taking the full pill, Miss Doctor, ma'am? Why would you wait till after I have these effects to talk about half a pill? And you know us, we do not be playing when it comes to, ain't nobody trying to be seeing stuff walking around. If I want to do hardcore drugs, I would be doing hardcore drugs. You can't tell me that this was the experience I was going to have.
So it's like that doctor said, cut the pill in half, and I thought of two things. The first thing is for my Christians. Cut the baby in half.
I cannot stand. I cannot stand you. That was it, yep. First thought.
Because if you don't know, it's this story in the Bible during King Solomon's time. It's these two women. They had babies at the same time. One person's baby died. So the other lady, she stole the other lady's baby. And so then the other lady like, no, she stole my kid. And the other lady like, no, this is my kid. So they going back and forth and they go before King Solomon. King Solomon is like, okay, we gonna have a test. And whoever passes the test is the real mother of the child. He grabs a sword and he's like, we gonna cut the baby in half because that way y'all can both have one. The lady over here who gave birth to the baby talking about some, don't cut my child in half. If she want the baby, she can have him. Just don't cut the baby in half.
Mm-hmm.
This one over here. Oh yeah, cut the baby in half. It's all right.
Give me one, give her one. Yep. Yep. You
That
girl,
man
you
said
ain't think it was a trick
that,
question?
that man said, give her the baby, take her to jail.
You're going to jail.
Like I said, I thought of two things when I seen cut the pill in half. The first was cut the baby in half. The other was turn the wig around.
Because Dina thought she ate the girls up with that one. She thought she said, and you know we've been talking about the inspiration. It's
Turn the
not
wig
far
around.
fetched. I see it. I see that the girl said, yeah, we gonna be different. Woo. And you know what? Yeah, because did either of those solutions work?
No, no. Y'all went on stage with some backwards wigs and locks. Granted, we we're not gonna get into dream girls, but yeah, don't turn the wig around. Turning the wig around does not work. And so Bernie is like, you know what? I don't need this mess. And so she take the rest and she dumps it down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, because why is we seeing stuff? Then we go back to Robin. Like we said, she done met a new man, Troy. Troy comes over and he ready to go straight to the bedroom. He not even so Robin is like, I'm gonna do things differently with Troy because Bernadine and Savannah and Gloria have all called her out on meeting a new man and going straight to the bedroom. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna do things differently this time. I'm gonna get to know Troy first, and then we're gonna go to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So she decides she tries to get to Troy. She decides she want to get to know Troy. And so Troy is like, he gets a call and he's like, oh, well, I gotta go by this friend's house. You want to come along? And Robin's like, yeah, sure. So she gets herself all, you know, she gets herself all nice and together. I was about to say all dolled up, but no. She gets herself all nice and together. They go out to this friend's house. And while they're on the way there, Robin's asking him questions about himself. He's a teacher. His mom and his son live with him. Robin's like, son, what son? And Troy's like, oh, yeah, I got a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And so Robin, of course, is like, oh, well, what happened to the mom? Oh, I don't even know what happened to the mom. What happened to the mom?
I was stuck on he lived with his mama. I was stuck on him trying to explain him living with his mama.
He's like, oh no, she lives with me, but I just live in the basement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Troy. Okay.
She lived with you, but it's nice living with her because you got somebody that cook and clean after you. That I'm supposed to believe. Because if your parent live with you, ain't you supposed to be taking care of them? I didn't know they were supposed to still be taking care of you if they live with you in their old age.
So yeah, they get to this friend house. Robin is like, what in the world did you bring me to? Because they get in there, and the first thing she see is drugs. She's like, what is this?
It reminded me of that
And
scene
so,
with Nene with the white child, the ghetto.
so Robin is like, no, no, Troy, it's time to go. Take me back home. Troy's like, why are you tripping? Robin is like, I'm not comfortable here. It's time to go. So Troy, after spending some time there, they go back to Robin's house. And Troy, he invites Robin over the next day for a barbecue at his mama's. And Robin is like, why are you inviting me over for a barbecue? We've only known each other for a week. And Troy's like, oh, I just want you to meet my mom and my family, get to know them. And so Robin, she's like, okay, and then she decides to go sleep with Troy. I'm like, Robin.
Listen.
And so Robin, they do what they do. Troy leaves. Robin don't even know that Troy has left. They leave. She wake up. She's like, oh, Troy gone. Okay. She get a phone call. It's Troy. Troy trying to talk dirty on the phone. And Robin is like, yeah, no, it's not gonna work.
I'm only stupid for Russell.
And so Robin, she hang up on Troy. She get on the phone with Savannah. She got on the phone with Savannah, and Savannah is like, Robin, you need to cancel. But Robin has learned that the barbecue is in her honor. Troy is basically throwing this whole barbecue for her, and it's like, Robin, get the cognitive functions going. This man just met you a week ago. He already trying to get you to meet his mama and his family. It's in your honor. It's sounding like wedding proposal, sounding like marriage. Run, go the other way. This is Troy. You need to go this way, opposite direction. And what does Robin do? She gets on the phone. She tells Troy, Troy, I'm not going to the barbecue. I'm not comfortable with this whole idea of me going to meet your family so soon. We've only known each other for a week. And then her wallet comes up missing. And this dummy,
Mm-mm.
this dummy, while she, no, no, because we gonna call Robin what she is in this moment. This dummy, she's on the phone with Savannah, talking about some Savannah. You think he stole my wallet?
If 2 + 2 is 4, 4 + 4 is 8. Come on now. The thing
Your
about
wallet is missing.
the
And
the
Troy is a drug user.
and then how she found it. Oh, girl, I found my wallet. Where was it? You left your wallet somewhere, and it somehow ended up right behind your tire, right under your back tire. In what way
Talking
could
about
you
some I ran it over.
conveniently run over your wallet, Robin? This is the thing. This one you was calling Robin a dummy. That's why I said, Robin is what we like to call willfully ignorant. She is willfully ignorant. You think about when she was talking about Russell, and I don't know if this comes later, so if it come later, we'll talk about it later. But that scene where she was talking about Russell and where he was like making up excuses, and she was like, "Well, it couldn't be that." Like when they get back together, I think it's later on. So when they get back together, y'all see we'll talk about what I'm talking about. But you can see her knowing the truth because she's smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, but to be like, "Oh, nah, I'm not gonna let people get in my head. I'm thinking too hard. I'm being like this." A pick me. You want to be picked so bad. You want me pick so bad that you're gonna throw away all of what you already know. Because you're smart. So Robin can put 2 and 2 together, but she chooses that way because she wants to say, oh well, I don't want to jump to conclusions. People just hating. When in reality, you're desperate and you don't want the man to leave you, even if he's doing all types of crazy shenanigans. You want, and I want to be like Robin wants the best, but Robin does not. I personally do not think Robin sees the best in people. She's not one of those people who I see the best in you. I see the great, I see light in everybody. That's why I get my heart broken. No, you are just desperate. You're just desperate. You see a pretty face, you want a man with a pretty face, and you just want to be married. And this is the thing, you want the house, the this and that, but you will sacrifice all of that, all of the happiness, as long as this man stays home and marries me. Even if I gotta do all the working, all the cooking, all the cleaning, I will do all of that and more, as long as you ain't even gotta be giving the ring. We can run to the courthouse. That's how desperate she be giving.
In the part of Texas that I am from, we call that a dummy.
I cannot give you the dummy title because that gives you a way out. The dummy title, being like you're a dummy, gives you a way out to be like, oh yeah, you just like it's a bless her heart. Robin don't get no bless her heart from me. She don't get, it's no bless her heart because Robin knows. She knows. No, child, no.
So yeah, so the next chapter is the Black women on the move meeting. I really enjoyed the Black women on the move storyline. And so they sit in that meeting. It's about what, like 26 of them, and Savannah's the newest one. And so they just having a meeting, they talking about the things that went on. They're disappointed because they didn't get the luncheon turnout that they were hoping for. So because they didn't get the turnout they were hoping for, they didn't raise enough money to sponsor their sisters' night out. That's what it's called. Let's call it girls' night out. Their sisters' night out. They don't have enough money to put on that event for the women, so they're all disappointed about that. And the reason they cancel that is because they want to make sure that the money they do have, they can still put towards the scholarships and the like community programs they have going on. And I was like, I like Black women on the move.
It was a nice part of the story, and it was a part of the story that made it. I like that made it be more centered around women, because this story, how he said, they do talk a lot about men, but with Sisters on the Move, and then Sisters on the Move coming up so much, and seeing how much the girls care about, certain girls care about it, it gives that other layer of we have more stuff going on than these raggedy men we dating.
That's why I liked it because they had something going on outside of their relationships. But my thing is this: they talking about they want to increase their presence in the town, but when they start throwing suggestions, one of the suggestions is, "Oh, why don't we do open membership?" And they're like, "We already tried that and it failed miserably." And I'm like, "So y'all want to increase your presence, but you want to also be exclusive?"
Sounds about right.
Is giving country club?
Sounds about right. You can help us, but you can't sit with us. Come to the come, girl. Come to our events, but you can't sit with us. And I'm not gonna lie,
It's
I
like, why
think
would I?
that's one part of the storyline I don't like because I was disappointed. I was ready for the girls' night out. I was ready for the sister night out. I ain't gonna lie, I was very disappointed in the meeting. Because what you mean we not gonna have sisters night out? And me waiting. Oh, they're gonna try to use Savannah, something so they're gonna pull through. No, ma'am. They said no. We're gonna have every woman. We'll do the scholarships. Ain't even trying to. Y'all can figure it out. Oh no, we can't figure out how to do scholarships. I'm glad y'all responsible.
It was like, I'd rather we send our young women to college and get a degree
Mm-hmm.
than to have a night of fun. And I'm like, you know what? That's admirable.
Mm-hmm.
But Savannah's like, look, just because they not having sisters night out does not mean we four can't have sisters night out. And so
Mm-hmm.
they plan to have their own little sisters night out. So then Savannah get home, she's nervous about seeing Kenneth. And Kenneth, of course, is a private doctor with a 3-year-old daughter, and he's not in love with his wife. And we already went over all of this. Their
Allegedly.
relationship fell apart because of miscommunication. Yeah,
Uh,
he's allegedly not in love with his wife. And so then Kenneth get out there and he tells Savannah, "Oh, I was in love with you, but I played it safe because I assumed you was dating around." Kenneth, this is why y'all are where y'all are at now. Because y'all had no communication.
but what can we do about that? I, I hate a I used to love you person. Cause what I'm supposed to do, I especially this is my thing. I hate a I used to love you person after we have all this going on. Like I understand I used to love you and I want to come back and we both single. I won't say I understand if you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, but okay. But married?
With a
Married
child?
married with a child before you, God, both of y'all family members, the courthouse, the judge, whatever it was, before everybody, you you go sick. Sick. I'm sick. And I hate him. I'm not gonna lie. I I hate a I will leave my wife for you type of I hate them type of people. I will leave my one because you're lying. One, because you're lying. Let's get that first part out the way that you're lying. But two, you're sick. You're sick. I'm supposed to like the fact that you have a 3-year-old daughter and you would leave her to be with me. But when you in love and you a little desperate because you moved to Phoenix and it's very a dry scene, things happen differently.
Yeah, so
Especially
Savannah
when the
should
man
get
is
a little
thirsty.
distance. Savannah been spending a little too much time with Robin
Yeah, mm-hmm.
because she decides to go on an outing with Kenneth to Sedona. And Savannah then regrets planning this outing because she knows that he's gonna go back home to his wife and child.
Mm-hmm. And to her delusion,
Mhm.
my girl was trying to be strong. She said he's married with a child. It ain't a big deal. We gonna just be friends. Especially because when they last left off, they were, more than friends, but friends more or less. So she had the delusion that we'll just be friendly. And she tried to hold on to that delusion. She did. She tried to hold on until she saw Kenneth. And his thirsty behind, she fell for the trap. She didn't fall for the trap. She was a part of the trap. Let me not even say she fell for the trap. Their plan came together. It meshed together just how they wanted it to on accident. I didn't plan. You think I planned to come into your life? You think I planned to fall for you? Well, you sure did both plan this little cute little trip to a cute little getaway. So it's seeming a little bit premeditated to me.
So then we get back to Robin. She got all three men calling her. Troy just wants to be back with Robin. Michael is trying to figure out has Robin made up her mind yet, and Russell.
Who she respond to, you guys?
Russell is calling. she responds to Russell, and Russell is calling to tell her to leave him alone because he's married now to Carolyn, the girl that he got pregnant earlier in the book. Yeah, he married her, and Robin is like, "Are you serious?"
Yes, guys. Yeah.
So she's heartbroken. And she over here. Oh my gosh, I thought he was changed. I thought he was different. How could he do this to me? Because you're a dummy and you let him come back into your life after you was warned by Carolyn that he was no good. Robin can't be surprised that Russell's a cheater because he was a cheater when you got with him because you were the one he was using to cheat.
How you get them is how you lose them, and you gonna reap what you sow. You put it in. You steal somebody, man. First of all, it's not even. This is the thing. He's not your. He has never been your man. He has. Give me one point where he's been her man. He's never been. From the beginning, he was somebody else's man. From the middle, he was somebody else's man because you kept being harassed. Why do you think? Because he was somebody else's man. To him getting somebody else pregnant who was not you, to him marrying another woman. You've always been. I'm sorry, but how are you gonna be the other woman for 3 years straight? You've been the other woman for 3 years straight, begging to get married. And let me tell you something. If I was Russell, I wouldn't marry you either. Cause you mean tell me I got somebody pregnant? Pregnant.
You still with me? You're still with me?
I don't have to ever marry you because you're gonna always be there. I just gotta sprinkle a little, I'll change. Robin, please forgive me. And what's gonna happen every time?
Embarrassing. So Robin, she over here all heartbroken. So she gets she decides to get herself drunk and she calls Michael. And a woman answers. And she's like, Harper, who is this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's his friend Gina who is staying with him.
Allegedly.
And Robin is like, oh, okay, so Michael, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, well, Robin, you haven't answered none of the phone calls. You've been ducking and dodging this man. He's been trying to get in contact with you. You can't expect him to wait on you for the rest of his life. So yeah, the girls they decide to take Robin out because she is heartbroken, but she does not want to go. But so she ends up making plans again. She ends up finally getting in contact with Michael, and they make plans to go to dinner the next Friday. And then the next Friday rolls around, and he forgets because Gina then made dinner for him. And so Robin is like, Michael, really? How could you forget about me? And I'm like, once again, Robin, you're over here. Gina's in his house. You're ducking and dodging this man. Gina seems to be showing interest, even though she's just a friend. She's seeming like a very friendly friend. But Robin is like, you know what? I don't need Michael. She's like, I don't need Michael. I don't need Russell. I'm gonna call Troy. And so Bernadine, she has the house to herself because John is taking the kids for the summer. And she's finally, for real dropped Herbert because he caught feelings and he was doing too much. And she was like, I was just trying to have a little fun. I wasn't trying to get in a relationship. You gotta go. So her divorce is finalized. Her divorce is finalized. So she's like, Savannah, girl, my divorce is finalized. Let's go out. Savannah like, Bernie, Kenneth coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie like, all right. Bernie like, okay, girl, I see you. I'll just take myself out. So that's what she does. She take herself out. She goes down to like the Ritz Hotel and checks herself in for the night. And she goes down to the bar. And while she's down at the bar, she meets James,
Mm-mm-mm.
who is also married.
Mm. Mm.
He's also
Not to
married, but
mention that
he's
part.
not in love with his wife. He's not in love with his wife because he's just falling out of love with her. But he's like, but she's sick, so that's why I'm not leaving her because it's not right to leave her while she's sick.
And he tell the wife is the
And so
white
they get
woman. She is, yeah. I
yeah.
don't know if that was
So they
important to tell, but it was kind of they made it seem like it was. So yeah. His wife is white.
yeah. So Bernie and James they get to talking. Then they decide to go back to Bernie's room and they end up sleeping together. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've had such a really good time with you. This is, I haven't felt this way in a long time. And I'm like, that's called lust.
That was one of those moments. I was really hoping they just went to sleep. I was. Everybody in the book was hoping they just went to sleep. Just go to sleep. Just get that part is like when you realize, I feel like it's similar to realizing like your mom sleeps with people. Like you know how like it's a point where it's like your parent, you cannot fathom them like you sleep with people. Like you be like, that's weird. Like you can't fathom it. You think that it's like you live in your fantasy world where Bernie and him they just fall asleep into each other's arms. And then you find out, or it's like the truth. You found the truth of the family secret. And they be like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
your mom and such and such mom and daddy was in love, they married, and then you find out it was a shotgun wedding, or you find out somebody got like it was a shotgun wedding, or actually he left his wife. You be like, that's what I feel like. I feel like in the book, I feel like this book was like me getting the real version of like the story I was being told. Like, not since you an adult, I can tell you what really happened. That's how I feel, especially in this specific part.
And so yeah, they do that, and then we go to Gloria. Gloria is over here stressed out because her whole life is falling apart. But there's a light in the darkness because a man moves in across the street.
What kind of man, Ronald?
She's like, a black man, an older black man has moved in across the street. So she's
From
like,
where?
it's a man. She's like, it's a man, but he might be married and got kids. So I don't have a chance. But maybe I can still like make friends because there's no other black people in this neighborhood. So she goes down to the salon. Desiree has quit. Philip claims that he's got shingles. Oh Lord. And then Bernadine comes in to get her hair done, and she reveals that after James, she has moved on to another man, Vincent, who is 10 years younger than her.
And not me thinking
I'm
that the
like,
new
Bernadine,
man
this
was
is,
James. Me thinking the new man was James. And then she
I'm
said,
like,
he 10 years younger than me. I was like, dang, James real mature. I didn't know he was 10 years younger than
no, it's Vincent.
Vincent. Yeah, Vincent. Me and names, because I'm like, Vincents are also very much trouble, but he wasn't bad in this book. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't. He wasn't for. I don't know what made Bernie think. I don't know. I think she just wanted to be rebellious and just go away from John to be with these other men. But I'm like, Bernie, because you tried to marry me and you like, I ain't really feeling it. You try somebody 10 years younger than you. Now, out of everybody in this book, you're the last person who should be with somebody who's younger than them. Out of everybody in this book and their mentality, ma'am, you are the last person who should be trying to date somebody younger than you.
And so, yeah, she's like, I'm dating this man who's 10 years younger than me, and they get to talk about everything that's going on. Just get to gossiping. Robin is back with Russell because Carolyn threw him out the house for cheating on her with somebody else.
Y'all see me shaking my head because I said I wasn't going to say nothing about Robin. So I'm trying to talk about her. So if y'all see me just real quiet, that's why.
And so the Gloria, she get home and she talks to Tariq. Tariq, he's a senior now. He started a new school year. His grades are good. He's doing good in school, but he's dating white girls. And Gloria's like, well, she's like, I'm not against interracial relationships, but have you ever considered dating, like a black girl? And Tariq's like, I know what I like. Tariq is one of those preference guys.
And child, it does not get, it don't get better.
But, and so Gloria's like, she had this kind of like internal monologue of, oh, now even my son is dating white girls. What's with our men choosing white women all the time? And I'm like, okay, Gloria, in your case specifically, look at where you live. You are living in Phoenix, Arizona, and you you admitted this in the book, you specifically chose the whitest neighborhood in Arizona because you did not want Tariq going to a more ethnically diverse school because you didn't want to have to worry about things such as gang behavior and drug behavior and him getting into trouble. Granted, Tariq is still getting into trouble at this predominantly white school, but Gloria, in this specific case, I'm not gonna say it's your fault.
The call is coming from inside the house.
But your decision to live in an all-white community and have your son raised up around white people, you can't be surprised he's gonna want to date white girls. That's all he's known.
And I was talking about this with somebody else that we don't talk about enough about moving into these neighborhoods. There's two things that happen with him. One, dating white girls. That's all he's around. Two, the little gang stuff, the little having attitudes. A lot of kids, if you've never been around other black people, just like how all white people who've never been around black people, how do they learn about black people? They learn about black people through TV. So if you're a black child, has never been around other black people, how are they going to learn about what being black means? Through music, through TV, through the movies. So they're going to put the stuff. And that's why he was like, we're not a gang, but they're going to put on the look. They're going to put the little flag in their pocket, the bandana. They're going to dress in all the same colors because that's what they think being ethnic is. Because you haven't let him be around any real black people. You don't have him around anybody else who's black. So that's what happens. And then you wonder why he got this little pretend gang. Wonder why, how you said, well, he was white women. Well, and you with sisters on a move. You and sisters on a move. You ain't no little black boy club in Phoenix that he could be a part of. Because you still making sure you in tap. That's the thing. You making sure you in tap with your black girlfriends. You making sure you're surrounded by black girls every day at work. You making sure you're involved. What's your son involved in?
And then you also can't be surprised that he's like, oh, the gang is not a gang, and he is like, it's not a big deal because think about it. He's mostly around white boys.
He doesn't know. Yeah,
they get away with a lot more.
And they don't know.
He's thinking he's like them.
Not just he's thinking he's like them. He's around white. He like I said, what does he see this on TV? Or maybe even he probably seen his favorite. Like, let's say you've never been but like you like Snoop Dogg. You see Snoop Dogg with the flag on. You like, oh, this cool. People even now, when you think about now, people wear like the little I think it's called Paisley, whatever it's called. I think Paisley's print. People wear that little print on all the time. On like, I can't wear it because where I'm from, it just messed my head up. But people wear it all the time because it's like, it's fashionable because they don't know the meaning behind it. He don't know if him walk around with a little blue, little red, little yellow, little orange, whatever little bandana he got in his pocket. he doesn't know the actual meaning. So to him, it's like, mama, we just wearing bandanas and we not doing nothing actually. We just wearing bandanas. Versus to somebody who grew up like Gloria and like where she grew up in Crenshaw. She grew up somewhere in
like in Oakland.
In Oakland. She grew up in Oakland. So like people like her, people who from a certain environment, when we see the little paisley print, when we see a flag in the pocket, but it's because we've been around a different environment to know what that is. He's never been in an environment where it would matter. He's never walked around where him wearing a bandana, he just like any one of the other kids on campus. Cause and let's be honest, which one of them little white boys gonna punch him in the face for wearing a bandana? Apparently none, because it ain't happened.
So yeah, Tariq, he's done better. And he wants to join this organization called Up With People. It's like this little traveling music organization because Tariq plays a saxophone. So it's this traveling music organization, and it's like it's a positive experience. They get world experience and like all types of stuff. And Gloria, of course, is like, I don't know. She like, I don't know. And he's like, I want to take a year off between this and college, and then once I do this Up With People, then I want to go to Morehouse. And Gloria's like, I don't know. The plan was for you to go to the college up the street.
And what he said.
And the reason Gloria is like this is because she don't have.
And I'm gonna let you finish. Hold on. What you say? The reason Gloria like this is what?
Because she don't have a man. She has elevated Tariq into the status of being her man. And I forget which one of them pointed it out. It was either Bernadine or Savannah. Like, Tariq is basically her husband. And now he getting ready to leave. And Gloria's like, oh, Lord, what am I going to do?
And he wanted to go because of what? He said, I've been surrounded by white people all my life. I want to go be with my people. I want to go be with my people. And ain't no HBCUs in California.
Actually, there is one, but it's a medical university.
I about to say.
So yeah, Tariq, he wants to start in his own life, and Gloria's like, what am I gonna do? So she's like, you know what? This new black family moved in across the street. I'm gonna go make friends with them. So she go over there, she take a pie, and she's like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Gloria. I live across the street. What's your name? And he's like, I'm Marvin. And she's like, okay, hi Marvin. Yeah, I just brought you this pie, wanted to be neighborly, she's like, oh, so like, she basically asks him, does he have a wife? He's like, no, I'm not married. My wife passed away a few years ago. I just have grown kids now. And Gloria, she's like, oh, well, if you ever want to come over for dinner, you can come over for dinner. I'll have my son Tariq send over a plate later. But you can always join us. I just got collard greens, ham, peach cobbler, cornbread, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, chicken. I was like, okay, Gloria, when the menu gonna end? And so yeah, Gloria invites him over one day, and she walks away. She like, I hope you're not looking at me walk away.
She turned around and what he was doing.
And he was looking at her.
Like she knew he was.
He was looking at her.
I remember when they brought it up. But they did mention him being, because she was talking about eating and how much food it was. And he's like, I'm from the South. That's nothing. I'm from the South. We eat. Okay. And that's the thing too about Gloria, because even I think it speaks to, I'm not gonna talk about that part yet, but being big in California, I feel like it's very different from being big in Houston to being big in Miami to being big in New York. Big is very relative depending on where you live. Cause I remember being in high school, me and my best friend, she lived in Colorado for a bit. And she was like, down here, Houston, the South, I'm considered skinny. Like everybody talking about how small I am. She's like, honestly, Tati, you're a normal sized girl. Like if you were in Denver, you would be a normal sized girl. Like nobody would be calling you tiny. You'll be just normal. So it's all relative. And if Denver, California, she wasn't in California though. She was in Phoenix. Let me correct myself. But still, in Phoenix, they probably on the same thing.
I was just like, when the menu gonna end? Because the girl was just going and going and going. I'm like, okay, Gloria, how much did you cook? It's just you and Tariq.
I sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I think that people are not around plus size people, and I think that they pull from their thoughts. Sometimes I feel like they pull from their thoughts and what they think the experience will be, because a lot of people who are plus size, I know some of them do binge eat. Don't get me wrong. Some of them do binge eat, but a lot of them, to me, do not eat enough. Like a lot of them, like they might pig out, but they might not. And then some of them are not probably going to do it in front of you. So I feel like that was an exaggeration from her stand. Like it could have been a creative thing of I'm gonna make it big to be creative, but I also think it was also from her lens of being this size of a woman. I don't know if she was big when she was young. I don't know what her experience is, but I think it was from that lens of like, while the list went on, and her trying to impress him too. I think that was a part of it. But yeah, I think it was to, I'm a big girl, so I eat this, and this. I got this, and this, 18 things on hand every day.
So yeah, Gloria, she invites him over for dinner, and she goes back home and she starts daydreaming about him because she likes him. And at this point, we like got 100 pages left in the book, and I'm like, we almost finished, and we just now meeting a potential man for Gloria. There's not going to be enough time to develop a romance for them. But yeah, so I will have more on that to say later. But yeah, so Carolyn calls Robin and tells her she is dumb for taking Russell back. And she's like, you better hope he don't give you herpes.
Here is why I said Robin is willfully ignorant. This right here, this is the first one was the baby, and this one was the second. This one was the second one. Because first of all, he asked her, what did she say? Why do you want to know? I didn't think the paraphrase her, she was like, why you want to know? No, what exactly did she say to you? Why do you need to know her exact words? Why do you need to know her exact words? And then she's like, first of all, he already lied to you about the baby and being married. Why would he not lie to you about this? But she's like, it's no, he's right. Like, she making it up. She just mad. She want him back.
And plus, he don't look like he got herpes.
I
checked him, and it don't look like.
He don't have no bumps, and I don't either. You know that's not how it works, right?
She takes him back. And he explains that that he is not with Carolyn because she lost her figure from having the baby, and she's always nagging him. And I'm like, Robin, this is the man you want to be. This is the man you are so hung up over. A man who will leave a woman for losing her figure for having a baby.
For having his baby.
That he denied.
Sick man you have to be to leave a woman after birth during the middle of freaking postpartum depression. Like, you know how sick, like, of her having to get used to her new body. And Robin is just eating up. I'm not gonna call you stupid. You're willfully ignorant. You're not stupid. You are causing self-inflicting pain. Why would he hurt me? Why would he hurt me? No, you are hurting you. I wish somebody in this book would have shook her to life and told her that. You are hurting you at this point. At this point, you hurting yourself. And you hurting yourself. Maybe my priorities not in order. Maybe my priorities are not in order. But I would take Michael over him any day. I listen.
Yeah, book Michael was cool.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have even took movie. Because you maxed me out. Listen to me. You maxed out my credit cards. I had to co-sign a car for you. You then got another woman pregnant and gave her the ring that you said you were gonna give me. And all you're not offering to pay a bill. You're not offering to pay me back these $3,000, knowing that I got parents out here that need the money. You didn't ruin my credit, so I couldn't even get a credit card to help them. I'm ruining my own credit trying to get over you. And you ain't offering me a dime, a penny, ain't nothing. You living in my house. And then here's a man who I have a summer house on the lake. I have that. You want to be a stay-at-home mom? Done. Done. You want a nice little car? Done. Like, is that all you want? Which one am I gonna take? I want Robin. A pretty face that ruins my life and adds nothing to it. A man who is plus size, who loves me with all his heart, who will give me the world. Which one are we gonna take? Which one?
I have one burrito. I have one burrito. A billionaire or a broke neuroscientist.
Oh my God. You know how I felt about that. You know how I felt about that. I'm like, y'all, and then it's the because he's plus size, you can't love him. Because let's be real. Let's be real, Miss Ma'am. If he wasn't plus size and he was ginger with the little freckles and light, would you not be all upon him? And had the money.
I want justice for my fellow plus size brothers.
Because you really just and then Michael was like, I ain't even mad at you. Figure it out, and I'm here. While you gotta chase this man
want justice.
I
want justice for my fellow plus size brother. He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve this in the book. He didn't deserve what he got in the movie.
And at least in the movie, he had a little attitude. In the book, he didn't have enough attitude for me. In the movie, he had a little, and I would have had a little attitude too, because ma'am.
We're gonna get to movie Michael in a minute. Because Russell is going back and forth talking about he gonna talk to Carolyn, they're gonna talk about a divorce. So Robin's like, he gonna go do that. I'm gonna go check on my parents. Her dad is going to a nursing home, which is the one thing he did not want.
Yep.
And her mom has been advised to divorce him for financial reasons. And she's like, no, I'm not divorcing my husband. I said for better or for worse. So if I'm going to go broke taking care of him, then so be it.
Yeah.
And what is Robin doing? What is Robin doing? Entertaining Russell, who would not make that type of sacrifice for her.
You're not helping me. You're harming me. Them $3,000 I could have sent to my mama. I could have sent that to my mama. You had to borrow money
my mama,
from your friends to make up for it.
My mama, who herself is sick. Okay, let's remember that. Robin's mom is also sick, taking care of her dad.
And to see, that's why I'm like, Robin was just the princess that never grew up. Like, she saw her mom and dad's love. And what a lot of people do, especially a lot of girls, is equate marriage or a relationship with love and romance. And those are two different things. You want to marry somebody that you love, but marriage does not equate love. Marriage does not equate the love that your father and mother have. I guarantee you, your daddy wasn't doing what Russell was doing, because you wouldn't be here. And y'all wouldn't have no house to live in.
And so Russell, he comes back. And Robin's like, okay, so y'all getting divorced? Russell's like, we talked. She's like, what does that mean? We talked about getting a divorce. We just not, it don't happen in one day. And so Robin, she is like, what in the world is wrong with this man? And so she gets a phone call from Troy. She's like, Troy, she gives it a little bit of attention, but she not feeling Troy.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she hangs up, Russell's like, who was that? She's like, oh, it was Savannah. And Russell's like, oh, tell your boyfriend not to call here after 11. And I'm like, first of all, sir, you don't pay no bills in this house. You're not even supposed to be here. So you do not tell me who I can and cannot talk to on the phone. that I pay for.
Is Russell you see the energy that should have been given, but the energy that was given. Is he jealous? Oh my God. He's jealous. Girl,
Dummy.
they couldn't give
Dummy.
1 or 2 or 3 or 4 about you. And I'm not letting her pass. Cause you know this. You know this. You know this. But you want to chase this so bad.
Yeah, so then Gloria's birthday comes up and all the girls decide they're gonna go over to her house and celebrate. And this was the most chaotic birthday party I have ever read in my life.
Loved it. Loved it. Lived for it.
It's just chaotic. They sitting up there throwing Gloria's music around, talking about some girl, don't put that on, that's old, don't put that on, it's gonna have us in our feelings. Like it was a lot going on. I was like, this is so chaotic.
My favorite part was Tariq coming in and being like,
forget Tyreek. Forget Tyreek because that boy came in, saw his mama stumbling in the dark drunk, and instead of helping his mama, he gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna go to bed. You're not gonna help your mama?
he said, y'all was doing too much. Y'all had a time, huh? And Gloria looked at
Your
them
mama,
stairs.
your mama is stumbling through the house in the dark. You not gonna help her to bed?
She looked at them stairs. She looked at them. She said, I guess we all gonna have this little pallet in the living room. Have us a sleepover like we at our grandma's house. That girl said,
And so basically the party was chaotic. Bernadine's like, I'm not with Vincent no more. He was a baby. Savannah, she's still sleeping with Kenneth. Robin done got rid of Russell again. And Gloria is lonely. So they get to talking, they get to reminiscing, and they get to talking about men. And they go through this list of what men are not. And I was like, okay, Terry, you better use your character to sermonize the audience. I see you.
mm-hmm.
And what I really enjoyed about this part was Savannah talking about we only talk about men when we get together because we don't have nothing else to talk about. We have this stuff going on in our lives, but it's just what we get on.
Which happens. She said, let me remind y'all that I have fully formed characters, okay? We have our backstories. We are people. Don't play with us.
And so yeah. So they get to discussing, and then Kathleen comes up and Bernie's like, I'm gonna call her. And then Rob is like, give me the phone, I'll talk to her. And then Gloria's like, no, this is childish. We are too grown for this. We're not doing this.
And Savannah's me.
But yeah, I enjoyed this chapter. I enjoyed it because it was chaotic and it was fun.
It was so much fun. I just imagine them just having, I love it, especially just the sisterhood, just having a great little night. So Gloria has her birthday. It was a very.
So after that little.
You broke up.
I broke up. I was about to move on, but I would let you go. I'm gonna let you finish.
No, you fine. Go ahead, because I was just, you know you have the timelines better than me.
Because I'm like, so after the little chaos birthday, John and Kathleen, oh Lord, they done got married. Here come Onika. John and Kathleen are married. Bernie's like, okay, because she's trying not to demonize John to the kids. So then Onika says, oh, Kathleen is so nice and sweet to us. Bernie's like, okay, I would hope so. And then here go Onika. And Kathleen's pregnant. Bernie loses her mind. She run off to the room crying. And John Jr. takes it upon himself to curse Onika out and slap this girl in the face. And Bernadine is peeking through the door like, oh yeah, that's what she get. I was like, Bernadine, no ma'am. This is not what we as Black people do. This is not what we as Black. You do not allow your child to slap the child in the face and curse them out. And you sit there and be like, that's what she get. You walk out there and you go discipline your child. I don't care how hurt you feel. You don't do that mess. Don't do that. Do not do that. Don't do that.
Got a big mouth and it's probably time. Girl, that's your job as the mom. She said, I'm not going to be no bad guy. But John, he did what needed to be done. I'm
Because
telling
Bernadine, why would you allow your child to do that? Because now you just turning John Jr. into John Sr.
this book, like I said, this is you finding
Dummy
out.
number 2.
This is you finding out the true story. Like, this is you finding out your Auntie Bernadine is not the Auntie Bernadine that you thought she was. She is not the Auntie Bernie that you thought she was. Yeah, you thought you had that Auntie Bernie. No, it wasn't one Mary, man. It was, yeah. Yeah. No, girl, you ain't know
Because
your
why
Auntie.
would
No, your Auntie Bernadine is
you just
down.
really so a rainstorm rolls in. A rainstorm rolls in. And Bernie, she thinking about James. Cause she's like, I haven't felt a spark since I was with James. And so she gets a letter from him. And he's like, oh hey, and here and Onika, of course, she come in, she asking questions while Bernie trying to read the letter. She's like, the letter's like, my wife has died. I can't stop thinking about you. I want to see you again, basically.
This was so sick.
And
This
so
was
Bernie's
so
like, oh,
sick. Hey, just let you know, my wife died, but I still have these huge feelings.
it's so yeah. And so Bernie gets on the phone with Savannah. She like, Savannah, what should I do? Savannah like, girl, go to that man. I'm like,
It's Terry out of line because she what she did was cute. She wrote it real cute. She wrote James real nice and cute. But when you really think about like this thing, she called Savannah. Savannah's crying because it is a beautiful letter. It is a beautiful letter. But when you really think about it, you like, wait a minute. This man, hi. Hey girl, I know I ain't talked to you in a while.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
my
that's what
wife.
happened to me. And that's what happened when I was reading it. I'm reading this. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. Then I had to stop. I was like, wait a minute. They met when he was married. This is not cute. Y'all
Yeah.
had an affair. And now that the wife is dead, now y'all gonna try to pick. No, this is not cute. And so James is coming for the week. He's coming to spend a week. And yeah, he's coming to spend a week, and Bernie gets on the phone with Savannah. Savannah, James is coming down here for the week. What you think? And Savannah like, well, I think you missed my birthday yesterday. That's what I think.
I love Savannah. I love Savannah because she is a
But
troll.
Savannah, she's like, you missed my birthday. She's like, you missed my birthday, but I'm not tripping because Kenneth coming down here too.
Uh,
But she wants to cut Kenneth off because she don't want to be a side chick. And I'm like, Savannah, when you slept him the first time, you became the side chick.
She got her senses though. She got her sense. She said, wait a minute. I've been hanging around Robin too long. A little bit of Bernie is getting into my system. I need to get it out. I need to get it out. No, but she a troll because it was Bernie. What did you do for your birthday? Oh, I didn't really celebrate it. I didn't want to make a big call. So, girl, why you get on this phone talking about some? I think you forgot my birthday when you ain't even care. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, when she was ready to drop Kenneth, I was ready with her. Cause girl, yeah, you don't need no Kenneth.
She like, I'm not gonna be no side chick. And especially now that I got a shot at being an associate producer at my station, yeah, Kenneth, no. It's over for you. And then Bernadine, of course, she's still like waiting on the settlement with John, but she not really trying to push it too hard because she can also be held liable since she signed the tax returns too because they filed jointly. And so I'm like, Bernie, this is why you keep up with the family money.
She learned her lesson.
This is why you need to know what's going on. Yeah, she learned her lesson. Oh Lord,
You look at that.
here comes Savannah Mama. Here comes Savannah Mama calling again. Savannah, hey, I need you to send me some money. They didn't cut my food stamps down. Savannah, like, what you mean they cut your food stamps down? Oh yeah, I filled out the paperwork wrong. Look, no, I'm not gonna say it because no, I'm not even gonna do that. She's like, y'all, they didn't cut my food stamps down to $27. I'm like, Savannah, how are you supposed to survive on $27? And then her brother who was staying with the mama, he had to move out because the landlord was getting suspicious and she didn't want her Section 8 getting affected too. So I'm like, Savannah, your mama is out here down bad and nobody told you.
That's what she was like too. That's exactly what she was like. She said, not us going outside and ain't nobody gonna give me the heads up. Between me and the one in the army, something should be being taken care of.
So Savannah's like, Mama, I'm gonna send you this money. And the next time something like this happens, you tell me, and I don't care what it is, whatever you want, you tell me, and I'll take care of it. Shoot, fooling with the other three, you been out on the street. So Savannah, she decides her convention finally arrives. She goes to Vegas, and this is where I got pissed off.
This was actually one of my favorite parts. Hold on, I need to blow
And
my
she meets, well, I'm gonna fill y'all in while she go do that. She meets Charles from a neighboring station, and they are bored with the convention, so they decide to dip. They decide to dip, and they decide to go do them. They decide to go do them, and they decide to just get to know each other. And they both find out that they're having trouble in the romance department. And so, of course, they talk about their dreams. They talk about what they want to have going on. And Charles gives Savannah tips on how to, land the producer job at her station. And then they end up sleeping together. No, I skipped ahead too much. Then they decide to go out and have them a good time first. That's what they do. And while they're out there having a good time, Charles admits that he likes Savannah. And then they leave the party and they go to dinner. And then they go back to Savannah's room and they talk and they have some more talk and get to know each other. And then they sleep together. And then they spend the rest of the trip together. And then they promise to see each other after the trip.
They sure did.
And then, Savannah, she gets back home and she gets a call from Robin. Of course, Robin filling her in on everything that's going on with her. And then Savannah, she does not hear from Charles for 2 weeks. And everybody's encouraging her, like, oh, girl, don't worry. Maybe something came up. You'll hear from him soon. No, nothing. For 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. And so Savannah is heartbroken. And then she's like, she's heartbroken. And then she's like, you know what? This is my fault. Because I shouldn't have opened myself up to him like that. I know better for next time.
Accountability.
And this part pissed me off because I was rooting for Charles. And this part pissed me off. I'm like, yes, Savannah done probably found her dream man finally.
One, accountability, and two, I love this part because it was too easy. It was I like not just realistic. It was too easy. Bernie had already had the this is. Have you ever watched He's Just Not That Into You? I think I brought this up before, but
I've ever watched what?
He's Just Not That Into You.
No.
So when He's Just Not That Into You, it's a people show. It's a people movie. But when He's Just Not That Into You, basically one of the main things they talk about is they're the exception, you're the rule, right? So there's always this exception of, I know somebody who was with his wife and he left his wife to get with the lady. I know somebody who said he didn't want to get married for 11 years, ended up marrying the girl after those 11 years. I know somebody who had love at first sight. But those are the exceptions. You're the rule. 9 times out of 10, that's not gonna happen for you too, right? Lightning don't strike the same place twice. So it's like for what's her name? So when it happened for Bernie, okay, this is beautiful, it's cute. But just because it happened for Bernie doesn't mean it's gonna happen for you. Because Bernie had just got her little happy, and Terry knew what she was doing, setting us up like that. She knew what she was doing. Because Bernie had just had her happy ending. We riding that little wave, and then Savannah finally got the nerve to end it with Kenneth because she knows her worth. Then she meet this brother that's showing some worth, getting to know her. She was like, oh yeah, they gonna eat this up. And then bam, I'm gonna give it to him and make you feel just like Savannah felt, because you feel like, Charles, you asked me all them questions. And then I know we always bring up being communication majors, but I don't care. That was the major. And being a communication major and going through certain struggles, it's like, oh my God, I opened my soul to you. We need to, that connection, especially in like certain industries, like I feel like it could go either way. People can be really helpful, or people can be real competitive. It can go either way. But a lot of times some people be real competitive too. Like you don't share ideas. You write them ideas. What our professor say, you write them ideas down and mail them to yourself. So for them to have a connection enough to be sharing these ideas, I'm gonna help you build. Y'all understand. That's some intimate things right there. And that boy said, "Yep."
Trifling.
He said, "No."
Trifling.
That man ran straight game on us all. Smooth with it too. You carry this book everywhere with you. That's why you carry the book to play these games, huh?
We go to Gloria. Philip is still sick, but he's finally told the truth about his illness. He does not have shingles. He has AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Her customers don't want him back because of it. And Gloria's like, well, Philip is he still works here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not feeling well, but he still works here. So Gloria, she's worn out because she's down 3 stylists because Philip is out sick, Desiree done quit, and Cindy is getting ready to leave for school.
Mm-hmm.
So she's considering leaving. She's considering leaving, and after Tariq graduates, and then to make matters worse, Philip resigns because he's like, I am not feeling well, and then the people don't want me there, and I'm just gonna do hair out my house because it's easier for me. And so Cindy's like, you know what? Cindy's like, you know what? School will be there. I'm gonna stay here with you, Gloria, because you down like 2 stylists, and I don't want to leave you in this position because you've been real good to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's called loyalty. So yeah, so Savannah's like, Gloria, I'm gonna cancel my hair appointment because I want you to get some rest because I don't want you being all worn out doing my hair because you're not gonna have me looking like Diana and the Supreme Pizzas.
We ain't turning no wigs around.
And so Tariq, of course, and so Tariq, he's trying to get into up with people, so he's increased his involvement in the community, and he's actually enjoying his involvement in the community. I'm like, okay, great, the boy has found something positive to do. It's a miracle.
Not a miracle.
And so it is a miracle. And so Savannah and Gloria, they go out to eat. Savannah got the job without Charles's help.
Per.
And they talk about Gloria finding a man. And I wrote in my notes because it was like the perspective change from Gloria to from Gloria to Savannah. I'm like, did we change perspective mid chapter, like mid sentence? How we change perspective mid sentence? What are we doing? And so yeah, Gloria goes home. She has her nice little swim, and then she has a heart attack.
It's the fact that people with no men always trying to tell somebody else who need to get a man when they hadn't felt a man touch in like a year. Not Jack's
Yeah, and so Gloria have a heart attack. I'm like, a heart attack at the end of the book? What is with y'all wanting to have these people have health issues at the end of the book?
Me, don't play with me right now. Do not play with me.
Like, please don't
play with me right now, Miss Ma'am. Because y'all love pulling this.
Don't do this. Don't do that. Yeah, so Savannah, she driving home from having dinner and she breaks down in the middle of the road. And I'm like, now you the second character I done read in the book that done broke down in the middle of the road. And so of course she finally gets help, she gets out the way, she calls her mama. Her mama's like, hey, your sister had the baby, it's a boy, and I'm not gonna be able to make it down there for Christmas because I'm gonna stay here and help her with the baby. And when you gonna find a man? What happened with Kenneth? So Savannah's like, Mama, I have my own life. I'm grown. I will find a man when the time is right. I don't appreciate you being in my business. And so then after she, apologizes to her mom for yelling at her, she gets off the phone, and then Kenneth calls. Kenneth's like, hey, I'm coming back out there. I'm planning to go to Palm Springs. I want you to come with me. Savannah's like, Kenneth, I'm not going with you to Palm Springs. You're married. And so Savannah decides to get her life together. She quits smoking, and she gets her a new car, and she goes to see Gloria. And Gloria is in the hospital. And we find out that she only survived because Marvin ran over and gave her CPR. And he's possibly in love with her. And I'm like, in the last 20 pages, Terry?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna spin up a whole relationship in 20 pages?
She said, y'all gonna read this next book. Y'all gonna read this next book.
I don't know about you, but if I'm in the hospital recovering, the last thing I'm thinking about is romance. I'm
The
trying to survive.
literally, this girl is trying to pray to her baby. She trying to speak to her baby, tell him that she here, she alive. And Terry said, "Oh yeah, we got you a man, girl. No, you just need your little man take care of you, and poof, you go."
So
Child,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Tyreek.
So Gloria eventually gets.
I'm sorry, it's him saying that he Gloria husband. It's him saying he Gloria husband, then Tyreek daddy, and the rest of them, yo, we sisters and doctor. You know what? It's not even my business. The doctor, I know y'all lying, but it's not even my business. I don't care. But it's Tyreek wanting to smile when he said, "Oh yeah, and I'm the boy daddy." Now you've been rebellious. You had smart comments this whole time. This man said, I'm the boy daddy. Y'all knew him for 2 seconds. You knew him for 2 seconds. And you like, yeah, I got me a daddy. Him and your mama not even official. She don't even know
Yeah,
he like her. He don't.
yeah. So yeah, Gloria, she improves. Tariq gets in the up with people, and Marvin's like, "Oh yeah, when you get better, maybe we could like do something." I'm like, in the last 20 pages, Terry, and then we get to Robin. Robin's dad has died. She's pregnant with Russell's baby, but she's like, I'm gonna raise it on my own. I don't need him. And Michael calls to console Robin. He's the one there for Robin, helping Robin through the heartbreak, making sure she's taken care of. And what does Robin say? Oh, Michael, you're such a nice guy, but you're not the guy for me. Robin, he's literally here helping you after the father of your child left.
I don't care that are pregnant with another man's baby. What more do you want, Robin? What more do you want? Literally, you know what this reminds me of? This girl
What?
this girl was saying how basically, I'm making a long story short, her son is autistic. He's he's nonverbal. And she was praying to God about praying to God, praying to God, praying to God. If all she wants is to like her baby to say I love you, her baby to tell her I love you. That's all I want, all I want, all I want. And so basically, since he's nonverbal, he went to like speech or something like that, and they helped him to like either he wrote it or he did some type of sign to be like, "Oh, I love you." And she was like, oh, "Okay, like I'm not gonna take this boy to school." She just kind of brushed it off, and she was like, she had to stop in that moment because that's the thing I've been begging God for is for my son to tell me he loves me, but because it wasn't the way that I pictured it, because he didn't verbally say it wasn't the way I pictured it, then I didn't accept or acknowledge the blessing. I feel like that about Robin. Like I've been praying for this. I want the house. I want this. I want this. I want this. But because it doesn't look like this image that I wanted to look like in a man, then it must not be for me. It must not be good. When literally everything that you want this man is, but because it doesn't look like what you want it to be, we're not gonna appreciate it because it doesn't look like what you want it to be. And that I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there because I ain't supposed to be speaking on her. But
And
yeah,
so yeah, the the book ends with the girls having happy endings, sort of. Uh, Bernadine, she gets almost $1 million in her settlement. Gloria starts up something with Marvin. It's not a relationship. She just like we testing each other out. Savannah gets her a new man,
her.
and Robin dropped Russell. And then for the side characters,
Amen.
uh, for the side characters, James is still around for Bernie. Philip, unfortunately, is struggling financially. And Desiree came back after quitting the salon because she realized she needed a job.
Mm.
Because what did the black salon is there in Phoenix, Desiree?
Who else need weaves?
And so Bernie, she plans to donate. She make a lot of plans with this money, and I'm like, okay, Bernie, now hold on now. It's not $1 million. It's not over. It's under. It's close, but it's not exactly. You can't be donating it all and giving it to everybody and still hoping for everything to work out.
Especially because I'm
But
like,
the book
girl,
ends with her, And the book ends with her planning to open a bakery.
I'm glad he made us read this because I'm glad I bought the second book because I'm reading the second book. I don't know when or where or how I'm getting to that second book. But yeah, Terry did her thing. She did her thing. She said, y'all are gonna read the second book. Every movie I drop, y'all are gonna watch it. I'm gonna give y'all the blueprint. And then I'm gonna watch y'all fail at trying to recreate it. No, I'm gonna give you the blueprint and I'm gonna watch you fail at trying to recreate it because you're not doing it your way. You gotta do stuff your way.
So yeah, that's how the book ended. So now we gonna get into the movie. Okay.
Because I get what you're saying with adaptation. The
Yeah.
great. As a movie, I give
Because that's basically what it is.